Have you been thinking about a home project this fall? You know, before the holiday rush hits, because now is really the perfect time to start. But don't let hiring the wrong contractor turn that dream project into a nightmare. In this video, I'm sharing 7 costly mistakes homeowners are making when hiring a contractor and how you can avoid them. Did you know that in a recent survey, they found out that more than half of the American homeowners have a renovation project in mind this fall? And if you're among them, you know that embarking on home improvements can be both exciting and daunting. According to the survey, the median renovation budget is going to be around $15,000. So you're probably investing a significant amount, and one of the most critical decisions that you'll make is choosing the right contractor to bring your vision to life. However, many homeowners are falling into common pitfalls during this process, leading to stress, financial strain, and disappointing results. Let's start with number 1, skipping the research phase. Yeah, you know, a common mistake that a lot of homeowners are making is they're rushing into hiring the contractor without the proper research. But to ensure that the success of your renovation, it's going to be crucial for you to take the time to meet with multiple candidates and educate yourself on the best practices surrounding your project. Neglecting to do the research and the processes and the steps involved can leave you vulnerable. Not only does it make it more difficult to ask the right questions, but you also risk hiring unqualified professionals or setting yourself up for subpar work. So what should you do? Well, educate yourself, read up or watch some YouTube videos to gain a better understanding of the best practices surrounding your project. Search and interview for at least 3 contractors who specialize in the type of work that you need done. Then ask specific questions. Inquire about the process and the materials each candidate will utilize, making sure you understand how that's going to work and what the timeline would look like, and then ask for a written proposal so you can understand and compare the costs. Would include removal of the old materials, getting new materials, installation, etc. Seek recommendations. Get those referrals from trusted resources like friends, neighbors, real estate professionals. We're happy to share a list of referrals with you. It means that you don't just go with the first recommendation that you get from a friend or relative. As realtors, we connect our clients with several trusted professionals within each field of expertise because we know, because we had a good experience or maybe our clients had a good experience, it doesn't mean that you will. It gives you a chance to talk to various professionals to see which one you feel you're connecting with. 2 is choosing based solely on price. Oof, yeah. You know, once you've interviewed the candidates and reviewed their proposals, it's time to choose your favorite, but don't make the mistake of rushing into the lowest bid. Cheap is not always better. You may end up with someone who does cheap work, and when they run out of money, they'll probably be asking you for more, or they might just leave the job entirely. I've seen it happen. While it's natural to want to save money, selecting a contractor based entirely on price can be a costly mistake. You know, extremely low bids may indicate cut corners, subpar materials, or hidden costs that will surface later. That's why you want to look at those written proposals and really compare them. According to the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, when evaluating bids, you want to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples and considering factors like quality, timeline, and scope of work. What should you do? Consider the overall value. In addition to price, look at experience, reputation, and the quality of the work. Ask for detailed breakdowns, understanding what's included and what's not in each bid. Be wary of low bids. Bids that are significantly lower than others may be too good to be true. Invest in quality. Remember that quality work comes at a fair price, and investing in a reputable contractor can save you money in the long run by avoiding costly mistakes or repairs. Number 3 is neglecting to confirm credentials and insurance. Yeah, you know, when you've established a good rapport with a contractor, it's natural to want to believe the best in them. But you need to check the references and verify the licensing and insurance. Otherwise, it could come back to haunt you. You know, hiring an untrained or unlicensed contractor puts you at risk for safety, code violations, not to mention shoddy workmanship. Because without proper insurance, you could be left footing the bill for costly repairs, legal issues, or even medical bills if somebody gets hurt on the job. This might seem like a given, but you'd be surprised. Make sure your contractor has the appropriate license and state certifications to perform the work that you need. Ask your contractor what licensing they have for the job. If they squirm or don't know if they even need a license, run. Reliable home improvement contractors will have the necessary licensing and will demonstrate confidence that they have what it takes to take care of your construction needs. As an added plus, they'll also know what permits will need to be pulled. Something you will want, especially if you're considering selling in the future. Should you do? Verify the licensing and insurance. Confirm that the contractor is licensed according to local requirements, and make sure they have insurance for general liability and workers' compensation coverage. Call references. Contacting references, ask questions and request to see photos of the contractor's completed projects. You can visit job sites. Observe the contractor's work in progress and interaction with the clients. 4 is proceeding without a written agreement. You know, as much as I'd love to buy a house with a handshake, the reality is it takes a written contract with a lot of supporting documents, which can sometimes be tedious. It's the same thing when you're having work done on your home. A handshake may seem friendly, but as I like to say, your agreement's only as good as the paper it's written on. And if it's not in writing, that leaves you open to misunderstandings and potential legal issues. With everything in writing, you can understand the project scope, timeline, and the costs. Paperwork can be tedious, but don't skip the important step of carefully reading over your contract, asking questions, give pushback on any terms that make you uncomfortable or that you don't understand. Be sure to ask for payment receipts and also document any change orders or issues that arise throughout the project as well. Should you do? Insist on a written contract. Outline all the aspects, including the scope, materials, timeline. And remember, legitimate businesses always go with a written agreement. Stand and agree. Don't sign anything fully until you agree to all the terms, and then keep your documentation. When you made your final payment, request a receipt marked paid in full to keep on file for legal and tax purposes. Now, number 5 is paying too much up front. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this one. It's a big mistake paying a large sum up front before the work is completed. You know, it can leave you vulnerable if the contractor fails to complete the work or disappears with your money. According to the home services platform Angie, deposits usually are going to range between 10 and 33% of the total project cost. The remaining payments should be tied to progress milestones outlined in your contract. And construction attorneys, they're always cautioning against paying a greater share of the project cost than the percentage of what's been finished. You know, if you end up dissatisfied with the outcome, you'll have much less leverage if you've already paid. So what should you do? Well, be cautious. Avoid contractors who demand large upfront payments or cash-only deals. Establish a payment schedule and tie the payments to important checkpoints or finished parts of the project and stick to them. Pay only upon completion. Never pay in full until the project's completed to your satisfaction and all the required inspections have been passed. Now, number 6 is failing to get the necessary permits. Skipping the permit process may seem like a great way to save time and money, but there are some serious consequences to that decision. Without the proper permits, you could be in trouble with the local building codes, the HOA rules, and city regulations, which could result in fines and even in some cases having you redo the work. Plus, I have to tell you, these days, most of my buyers are asking if the seller has pulled permits on the work that was done because they're seeing value in those permits. Also, unpermitted work might compromise the safety and structural integrity of your home, potentially leading to hazardous conditions or diminishing the resale potential. Homeowners and home sellers may also find themselves without recourse if issues arise later, as insurance companies often exclude coverage for unpermitted renovations. If you're in an HOA community, don't forget to check their requirements as well. You may need prior approval to make modifications on your home or on your yard. This way you avoid issues later with the HOA or any potential liens or fines because you missed this important step. What should you do? Discuss permits. Talk about the permits and the HOA requirements with your contractor before the work begins. Include permits in the contract. Ensure that obtaining necessary permits and approvals is part of the contract. Verify your inspections. Make sure all required inspections are completed during the project. And then keep your records. Keep copies of all the permits, HOA approvals, and inspection reports for yourself. Now, that was 6 steps to get you started, but number 7 is extremely important, and one that I'm going to send you to our monthly blog called The 7 Mistakes to Avoid When Hiring a Contractor. I put the link in the description. Hiring the right contractor is crucial to the success of your home improvement project. Take the time to thoroughly vet your contractors, communicate clearly, and plan carefully. This will pay off for you in the long run. If you're here in the Denver metro area and you'd like help finding a contractor, or you want to know how a planned improvement could impact your home's resale potential, reach out for a free consultation. Hi, I'm Peggy Durstoff, a realtor with Live Denver Suburbs, powered by HomeSmart, and thank you for letting me should on you throughout this video. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and continue your research by checking out this month's blog. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.